And we're here. Oh, I still haven't fixed the audio thing. It cuts off too quickly. We need a smoother transition. Okay, so the song at the end of last night's stream, I worked on this song in 20 Edo, and it was pretty bad when I started it, and now it is considerably better, and we're kind of getting somewhere. The first half of the song kind of mid. Second half has a lot of potential, and I don't know, we're just gonna add a bunch of stuff. We're gonna make it trippy. There's like weird what's up, Paul? And also hello, Fortune from Within. Yeah, we're just gonna, I don't know, we're just gonna clean up all the ideas, make it really goopy, trippy, add cool sounds, all that stuff. Anyways, this is what we got so far. Also, there's a few problems. One, I have a bloom on the master just slamming at 100%. Because I did that in the very beginning, because I was just like frustrated with the sound of everything. So let's try to turn that off and then mix the sound a little bit more. I don't like the little sine melody, the really high pitched thing, it's just not good. elements over here. This thing is like, yeah, it's way too resonant right there. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I'm in the wrong view. Oh my god. Wait, yeah, I'm back in my left corner. I didn't even notice. I pressed the wrong button. I'm just so silly. Do I still... Oh, see, that's why I didn't do the slow fade, because I went to the wrong view. I messed up. I'm so silly. Slipping. Do I still have a thesis for most of my ideas? Yeah, sorta. I mean, maybe not like concretely, like ahead of time. I don't necessarily plan everything like big, but you know, I judge the merits of ideas based on like whether or not the thesis or the idea behind it is good, or if it's like trying to say or do something in particularly special. Like this thing here, this section here is kind of boring and meandering. It doesn't quite get where I want it to. Something I noticed that I was thinking about this. I feel like a lot of like really popular electronic music genres, they show everything that they're gonna do when the drop happens, right? There's like a big build up, and then I guess like the more mainstream stuff, like I don't know, where there's like emphasis is on big drops and stuff. But there's like really big build up, a bunch of risers and stuff like that, and then like in the first bar of the drop, you know exactly what's going on, right? There's just like a riff or some big idea, like all the energy is centered at that first drop, and then just kind of continues, and then it slowly fades out, and the energy fades out, and then there's another breakdown, right? So it's like the way that the energy travels is it builds and builds and builds, and then releases all at once, and then fades out. Whereas a lot of my music, I find the build is like, you know, there's some tension, and then the drop starts, but then the drop continues to unfold and bring in new ideas slowly, one at a time. And that's especially going on in this song. We just introduce more and more stuff, and it starts going like super crazy once we're like well over halfway through it. And that's more like a storytelling thing versus or just like a different form of storytelling, you know, like just how does the thing unfold? You bring in this idea, you're like given kind of a boring idea at first, and you say, now watch what I'm going to do with this as I unfold it. And I feel like that's something that happens a lot in like more psychedelic music, whereas like if you're to listen to, I don't know, trap or bro step or something, you're saying this is the whole idea right in the beginning, right? You know, does that make sense? Anyway, you'll see when the song plays out, but yeah, this section sucks. Sound here, we need this. It is just it's just kind of stupid. Hold on. Yeah. So one thing is I'm showing too much in the very beginning. Where here, this guy. This thing, we shouldn't have that coming in immediately. It should be being teased, and then it really starts coming in full force once we're in this section, right? that's what I got. That's all we got. The idea is pretty solid, I think. This drop here. The bell, there's just a bunch of bells. So we got ballophones. And I'm using an auto filter. Also, what's up, maybe boys? I'm using an auto filter with just auto filter doing the phase offset thing, right? So right, and so I'm changing the arpeggiator amount and stuff. And then this is also running into xylophone, which is just the xylophone dark preset. I don't think I changed pretty much anything on it. So if I like... So I end up messing with that over here. Right, it sounds pretty cool. And then this is also going into operator, and it's just basic, it's literally just a sine wave that is really plucky with the envelope turned up. And then this guy over here, I'm turning on and off this arpeggiator. So there's arpeggiators on all the racks. This is taking in the MIDI from this, right? So this is just going, like we're going 30-second notes over here. And oh my God, triplets, so cool. Wow, there's other ways to subdivide, blows everyone's mind. And then while this is on like triplets, this thing, I'll turn on this arpeggiator on and off. And so this will be on, yeah, it's like on 8th notes, and then this one's on like 32nd notes. So essentially all of these have different arpeggiators running. So at different points, they're all running different arpeggiators that are like still, like there's one master arpeggiator, that's this guy's sending MIDI out to all of these, and then they have different arpeggiators on them. So they're all kind of running different shit together. Except, why did you not work? Oh. Changed up right here. At this point it starts getting a little bit bored. Also the sound, where are you? It's just straight, that's just a rip straight out of Tipper. It's the Dead Soon fucking laughing guy. That's what I was thinking of when I made it. Where the fuck? Oh, I didn't label anything. Oh my God, I just realized how bad this project file is. Oh my God, nothing, it's all bad. Oi. There we go, that's what we name it. Oh, let's turn that off. Yeah. Let's just go like that. I run just like a normal delay on the 8th, like there's 8th notes running here, and I turn on, yeah, just like a normal delay here, I guess, and it really starts to work with this thing I started choosing. So I gotta introduce the volume a little bit. The volume should be introduced with when it starts delaying. Anyways, so that section all sounds fucking awesome. That's not what I gotta work on though. I gotta work on the first section because the first section kind of sucks. So, it's tricky. Let's get these guys. Wait, no, let's get these guys. Super fun and cool. Now let's try to take them and put them in this section over here. Which, like, this section's not great. I might get rid of that big formant growl thing. Probably. What do we got? Okay, yeah, I understand. You do that. Really cool. Ooh. Kind of like that. Can you shut your goddamn mouth? Go like that. I can't type auto filter. Okay. Oh my god, I hate the auto filter. Is this too spooky? I kind of dig it. you're supposed to be like. Can we let's take this guy. Oh yeah, there's chords and stuff also. I don't think we like any of that, frankly. Let's turn that off. Let's go to that one. Like hit him with that. 100% right, and I'm aware of it. I just don't. I just keep finding more fun things to work on, but the snare sucks. Yeah. What happened with there's like delays that shouldn't be there. Huh? Hold on. Did I record something out? What's delaying out? Yeah, no, I understand. I'm aware. But it's not in the arc. It's outside of it. Ooh, oh! That's why everything's loud as shit. Okay, gotcha. I want to find a way to one knob. I mean, yeah, you can do that. It's pretty easy though. You don't really need to. I used to do this a lot more frequently, but it's just like, just delay. Yeah, it would be easy. Just as you twist knob, delay goes from long to short. Dry goes from 0 to like 100. Feedback goes from like 50% to 100%. You do that all at the same time, right? And then I don't think there's anything else particularly happening at that moment. And then here I start doing shifter delay stuff. Where's that also? Oh, it's happening here. I see. Snare need be better. Make snare more good. I mean, right now I'm just using. Yeah. Let's just get more snare sounds. Incredible. And let's just get rid of that. I stretch this out. And then shifter. Oh, I am also doing ring modulation on all the arpeggiating stuff, and it sounds awesome. It sounds really... Alright, that didn't sound nearly as cool as I was hoping. Okay, that was terrible. That was a terrible idea. I just don't want the transient. Okay, that was bad. We'll keep getting more snares. The chipper haha sound kind of below the quality of the rest of the track. You can hang out with the snare. This is true. I did like build the song around. Well, initially for most of the song, I think I have like redux and erosion on. Yeah, there's like a fuck ton of redux on the snare up until yeah. Even in this section up until oh weird. I don't even remember doing that. I don't know, it's all weird. Right? It's all reduxed and shit. Yeah, we'll keep that. We'll keep that sound. And we'll keep the pigments. Yeah. I mean, overall, I don't know. I probably shouldn't even be working on this section. Yeah, if you're gonna do the redux snare thing, I think you should have some wide sizzle / crunch so it doesn't feel so kneecapped. Like a post snare kind of thing. Like we could take this guy and then do the thing I was trying to do before. And then, maybe we'll just erosion this one. And then this guy we put ring mod on. And we also do that. Wait, what? Why is the not... Oh, I guess it is wide. Weird. Very, very weird. Hey, what's up, Ouija? And hello, Blue Baller. Is there one effect that is essential to most of your chains? No, it varies. You know what? I'll say flatline. Flatline, the multi-band compression preset. Goated. Way better than OTT. Way fucking better. And I use it on a lot of stuff. Yeah, I'm using it on this thing here. On this guy. Wait, without it? Okay, it doesn't really make a difference on this in this case, but you know what? Trust me on it. Just try it out. Anything that's like super dynamic, put flatline on it. It sounds great. Because it smashes it, but it doesn't give like OTT artifacts. Yeah. OTT has its uses, but it is way overhyped and should be used way less than it is currently used. Way less. Yeah, flatline, you can kind of just throw it on everything. Because all it does is squash the sound, but it doesn't give it the OTT sound. It doesn't have a flatline sound per se that I can hear in a track. Whereas OTT, I'm like, oh, that sizzle, that's a fuck ton of OTT. Oh, there's a bunch of clicks in the song. Obviously, they're just using a ton of OTT and can't hear the clicks. Or they like it for some psychotic reason. Something here. We'll take that guy. On a reverb guy, I mean, I just not really. I have yet to be reverb pilled, frankly. Valhalla Vintage Reverb, the stock preset, sounds good enough for me, and I put it on like everything. That sounds terrible. And then the xylophone layer, you gotta come in slowly, man. I don't know what you're doing. this even count as psybass when I'm just using a hip hop sub and I'm not doing anything else with the bass? Right, this is not in key. I don't know what the key is, frankly, but I did transpose everything like an undisclosed amount. But yeah, it's all in repitch mode. Yeah. Also, this section shouldn't have the shit snare. There's nothing else in the song that sounds like lo-fi and Redux and stuff except for the snare here. I don't know. Fuck it, let's just put the bird calling clap on it. I do this on literally every song, but it just keeps sounding good every time. But add some fades and stuff like that. A little bit like that. And then, yeah, and then we'll just duplicate these guys. And then this thing over here, we're gonna put you here instead, and then we're gonna have another operator and you are gonna tease it. So you're gonna do the same thing, but instead of being all FM'd and distorted and shit, I think it's just FM, yeah. We're just gonna pitch, just gonna do that. A and B sections, insane. And then we still need more. What do we need? We got these weird, like, kind of bell fucking sounds coming from this thing. Let's group all of this in a thing. Let's turn off all of that processing. Kind of cool, I guess. Then we'll put reverb. that bit. Saturator needs to be off here. Why does it get quiet there? It gets super quiet there. Weird. Anyways, we're supposed to work on the first section. We already know the second half is dank. Okay. I don't think this thing works. Maybe over here. Maybe over here. We can tease it and introduce it in this section. Like, I kind of like how the we need to change some of that up, but maybe we can like alright, yeah, I know the FM, the higher harmonic FM does not work. Tease it at the very end, just FM from the octave below. It's like, oh, it's gonna get darker. And then we go into here, and then because we're doing FM on that one, and we want it to sound a little bit more similar, we can use sine pole distortion. Oh, okay. I just want to give more emphasis to the bass that I'm adding. And these are kind of hogging up everything. Maybe we can get rid of that guy. gets so quiet at the end. This operator guy, yeah, I know, you're too clicky, man. What is it you? So clicky, man. Too much. Oh, the what? I can't really get rid of the click because I guess it's a sample. What? I mean, I could do that, but then like it loses all the attack, right? It sounds alright. It sounds alright. This section is much more questionable and weird. I don't know about this. I don't know about that. Maybe down an octave. It's interesting. It's all interesting stuff. It's all stuff I've like never heard before, but it's not that compelling, especially just compared to the second half. The second half is just like 10,000 times better. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do there. Here, let's take let's just make all this shut the fuck up. There we go. That's how we do it. Well, that's what we do. Are you struggling? Delete everything. Try again. All your hard work. Yeah, this stuff. Except I don't want that. I want the big one. Where's the big guy? Did I record that? I don't know where I recorded it. I guess these are all resampled, very slowed down portions of that, right? What are you? Cool. Reverse. We like, I don't know. Play. Right? That's a thing. And then let's take that guy. What are you? And then we'll slow you down. Right? Kind of cool. It's kind of piercing on the right ear towards the end, but that's fine. And then like, what's this guy? What do you do? Cool. Reverse. Maybe not. Maybe. Ooh, here's an idea. Here's an idea. Sampler time. Take a sampler, throw this guy into that thing, and then you're just like, bam, samples. You do some shit like that. Kind of amazing. A banger? Immediate? I don't know what to do, man. I don't. Let's, auto filter on this guy. We can just like open this up. And then you, let's make you mono. And then instead, let's find where the sample starts. Cool. right? Banger. And then, right, so those are all of our samples apparently. And then we hit legato, and then arpeggiator, and then random, and then hit him with a little swing 16 action. 40. Right, so I don't know, there's like all sorts of little bits that we can try to make. Layer these, place them around, make like drum loops or something. I don't know, I'm just flailing. I don't like any of the ideas I made for the section so far, so let's just keep on trucking so we can like do something like that. So we got this guy up here, we got that guy down there. We can just like mute this and then we'll just like swap them around every now and then. I don't know, and then put, oh, I can't spell. I still cannot spell. Auto filter, a good one. And then I like that little riff there. Happening. I don't know what I'm doing. Maybe bring these guys back in. Jesus Christ. Okay, so I think, I don't know. There we go. That was pretty cool. Still not crazy about the ending bit of the section. Excuse me? Oh, input. Oh, ballophone ARP. That's what I want. Okay, now this guy, how are we gonna do this? I was gonna try to just like check the format filter. I want to get the format guy on this. Where's he over? I need an oi oi oi. Yeah. So I kind of just like want this thing to go nuts, but like that's not gonna work. And I want it to be a different filter every time, so maybe we have to use serum too. Oh, but then I have to import. How do we do this? Wavetable. I know Wavetable's got some. I want a trigger every time. I want to trigger it to be a different note on every. How would I do that? On Wavetable. I don't know how. All right, we're using Serum. We use Serum. We're gonna import a tuning file. Mix is almost perfect, you think? There's no way. I haven't really even been thinking too much about the mix right now. Mostly, I mean, the second section's sounding pretty decent, I think. The first is Succo mode. It's a little bit better, but I don't know. Okay, so what do we do? We just go Foreman. Was it Foreman 3? Is Foreman 3 the good one or the Foreman 1? I think it's Foreman 3. Right, okay, and then we go mod source. Trying to remember how you do this. Note on random discrete. Note on random discrete. I guess I would just take in from telephone number. If I wanted to make this ambient, I mean mix into ambient. Oh, remixed. I would just like make it 20 BPM, turn off the drums probably. Where are the drums? Here, turn off the drums. Oh geez. It's not gonna work like that. That was pretty good. That was funny. It was laughing. It was a joke. It was laughing at it. That's fucking hilarious. Okay, the Serum thing, you sound like doo-doo. So what can we do with you? I want to use a wavetable. I suck at Serum, dude. Multi-sample. Can we load something funny? That makes sense. It's microtonal and weird. It's also very like it's got these kind of like bright ambers and stuff. And we're in 20 Ito, which is like very, very weird tuning. It's like very zen. You can't really do like traditional normal Western music theory stuff, which I think lends pretty well to a lot of his music. Like I know, and I was reading a little bit about, I downloaded a paper. It took me like fucking 15 minutes to figure out how to download this paper. It's so annoying. But oh god, it's so bright. It's so bright. There's no dark mode. I don't know how to make it dark mode. But it talks about basically multiples of 5 as tunings. So I like to think about, I'm just going to start going on a spiel. I like to basically break everything down, all the tunings, into like different categories, all the different Idos. So there's basically there's Idos with sharp fifths, there's Idos with flat fifths, there's Idos with super accurate fifths, and there's ones where the fifth is so flat that you end up getting like a weird anti-diatonic scale where all the chord qualities and stuff invert. And then there's multiples of 5 and multiples of 7. Now they're all classified differently because they all construct different scales. So I'm very familiar with writing in basically all of them except for multiples of 5. Because if you're in a multiple of 5 and you try to build a diatonic scale by stacking a fifth over and over again, you know, create a circle of fifths, right? Your diatonic scale, like Lydian is just a stack of fifths. If you do that in 20 Ido, it ends up being a 5-note scale that loops around itself. So the notes E and F end up becoming the same note. It doesn't work. All like normal Western notation and music theory and chord construction and stuff like that breaks in this tuning. So you don't really have those tools to work with. But there's other things that you can do about I don't know, there's other interesting scales that I've yet to explore. So one is called like Blackwood, where it's just a 5 large, 5 small scale where it just alternates large, small, large, small, large, small. And when you do that, you only have 2 modes, really, kind of similar to, well, not the whole tone scale, but you only have 2 modes that you can rotate between because it's like super symmetric. And then when you do that, every single chord is either major or minor, and it just alternates. So you can like plane between, jumping between different chords. Anyways, I'm talking about that because I know Sevish has explored and like made videos about exploring that particular concept of like chord progressions within Zen tunings that have multiples of 5 as an Ido. So all of that is to say, yeah, it sounds like Sevish because it's microtonal. It's a thing, I don't know, I need to explore it more. It's definitely, this is like a pretty new territory for me. And it's really hard to write in, but we're kind of getting something together. Yeah, man, the way I see it, the less rules, the more possibilities. It's true, but the more rules, also the more creativity is like kind of spawned, because like rules and limitations spawn creativity. Hello, Delta Quartz. How's goes the production tonight? It goes. We started working on this thing last night. I'm pretty happy with how the second half sounds. The first half sounds a little questionable. But overall, we have like an overall structure of a track going. It's in 20 notes per octave, which is fucking weird, and I wanted to challenge myself by making a thing in it, so we're getting there. Yeah, I need to make this less busy. Music theory, a piano. I couldn't figure out how to learn music theory for the life of me until I started learning piano, and then once you have an actual instrument to work with, it all makes sense. It's like nearly fucking impossible to build a strong understanding of music theory when you're just looking at a piano roll. It's not that useful. If you want to learn microtonal music theory, you should probably know a little bit of normal music theory. Just like, what are scales, you know, what are chords, what are modes, just like what are scales and modes really, and that like really primes you. And then I would watch the video I made on microtonal music theory, which gives you all the basics for like the building blocks for how harmony and consonants and tunings and temperaments work. And then once you know that, I am working on another video, but it is not out because I'm bad. And in the meantime, if you want to start learning about microtonal theory, I would read about MOS scales. This is probably the next step. Basically, it gives you formulas for creating scales with highly symmetric and useful properties for writing in pretty much any tuning or temperament. So this you could consider as like a fundamental building block for building like the diatonic major scale, right? Basically, like the diatonic major scale came first, but then music theorists tried to think about what's a way that I could generalize that scale even further back such that we can create other scales with similar properties. And they came up with this. And essentially, yeah, you can construct a bunch of different scales. And then the real simple writing process is just you find a scale that sounds conceptually interesting, you draw it in on your piano roll and your DAW, and then you just write in it until it sounds good, right? Like it doesn't, like at the end of the day, you're just like writing in things and seeing if it sounds fucking cool and evokes an emotion. You use all this math and all this like temperament theory and stuff to narrow down and find, oh, what collection of notes may sound good, right? So that's why like the less rules, the more possibilities. Yes, but if you were just writing in like 30 notes per octave or whatever, and you have no understanding of how any of the notes relate to each other, you're gonna have a hard time. But once you figure out a couple rules and you can start stringing things together and whatnot, it becomes more intuitive. And the cool thing is once you learn microtonal theory, normal Western music theory makes way more sense. But if you just want to learn normal theory, get a piano, learn chords, play chord shapes, play scales, and then just grind physically playing them, because the intuition behind the physical movement and the proprioception and how you understand where your body is and your hands in space and how the keyboard works and everything relates to each other is an important aspect for building all of the connections in your brain to understand how everything relates to each other, right? Because it's more than just a mathematical understanding. Having muscle memory works as part of the understanding for your brain. This music is very outside my typical wheelhouse, but it's cool to see more microtonal production live inside the DAW. Really awesome productions. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's fun. It's a journey. You know, I'm always learning, always making new weird shit. I find I personally like am most motivated to make stuff when I'm like discovering something new. So like usually it'd be like sound design, like discovering a new sound design technique, or I build a new rack or something, and then I make a bunch of sounds out of that sound new, and then I make a new song to go along with that to showcase, okay, here's this new concept or idea. But otherwise, like if I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to use the tools that I already know, I tend to burn out really quickly. I have to be like trying something new. And microtonal music theory is a great way to constantly get inspiration, because right now I'm working in scales and I'm working with sounds I've never fucking heard before, so that obviously that's going to inspire me, right? Now whether or not it sounds good, you know, that begs to be seen, but yeah, it's fun. Also, it's just like, you can also think of it as like an intellectual exercise, I suppose. You know, let's figure out how to write stuff in bad scales, bad tunings. Like my favorite types of tunings are very bad ones, basically. Ones that poorly approximate prime integer numbers. So just like it basically, all the intervals will sound more out of tune relative to just intonation. And I like that because it forces you to think outside the box. It forces you not to rely on things and patterns that you're used to, and it forces you to think more intelligently about like timbre, right? Because like if the intervals sound bad, then you can't use harmonically rich timbres or something, and then you have to like, I don't know, just like justify things in more interesting and novel ways, and it gets you to go outside the box and think creatively, improve and whatnot, and then the end result sounds like something I've never heard before in my life. So yes, 23 Ito, I'm fucking obsessed. That is the best tuning in my opinion thus far, though that's why I'm in 20 now, because 20 I think is probably even weirder than 23, just like conceptually. Like 20 I think has a few more accurate, is a little bit more accurate than 23, but construction wise it like makes no sense. Why isn't microtonal music becoming mainstream yet, especially in EDM? Because there's not a lot of good microtonal producers. Most of the best producers don't want to touch microtonal because they think it sounds bad, because not many good producers are making it. So it's like a cyclical thing, right? So that's why you have a duty to learn microtonal music production and make good microtonal music, because then more people will be inspired and realize that you can make good microtonal music. That's the best way to convince someone. Like, no amount of theory and looking at numbers and crunching numbers and understanding whatever physics will convince someone that microtonal stuff can sound good. What will convince them is hearing something that sounds good. And there's not like too much of it. I mean, Savage is awesome, but his stuff is also like suits a very particular style or whatever. So like, I don't know, I'm doing like more weird, trippy, psychedelic bass music, which I think also lends well to it because psychedelic bass music is like kind of microtonal in of itself, you know, it's like very sound design heavy. Sometimes there's like no scale or tuning system. It's just like crazy additive synthesis sounds and stuff. And it pushes boundaries inherently because like kind of the point of psychedelic music, you're trying to push boundaries, trying to go somewhere and present a place or a feeling or emotion that's never been like felt quite like that before, which is like inherently psychedelic. And so naturally microtonal music is psychedelic, right? Because you can like create sounds that are, you know, you can like tap into this like uncanny valley territory of sounds that they've kind of heard before but are new, or you can just bring in entirely new things they've never heard before, and you'd like weave in and out, you know, it's like tell a whole story with it. I think it would be easy for people to adapt to 19 Edo and 31. Yeah, those are generally like the most friendly for keeping tuning theory or like 12-tone theory and adapting it into those tunings, and they're like particularly good at certain intervals. I don't like them myself personally. I think it's because they like, most of the time I hear people doing stuff in 31 or 19, they're doing things that are done in 12, and thus it sounds more off because it's trying to do a thing that it's not. And so when I hear discrepancies in 31 from 12, right, I can hear that it's trying to be that, and then it sounds kind of off and weird. Whereas music in like 23 is in a whole fucking different planet. I'm not comparing it to anything. I'm just comparing it to itself. That's just me though. I'm a hater because I'm a contrarian, and I see that like 31 has like the most amount of like content and stuff about it. And I think there's like a lot more interesting stuff to explore. Like I'm not into microtonal theory to make my thirds sound more in tune, right? Like that's what a lot of people are interested in. But I'm interested in microtonal theory to create sounds that have just never been heard before. I want to see how far out we can go. So I mean, there's different motivations. Everyone has different motivations and stuff. I'd love to try microtonal, but Bitwig kind of sucks for it. I can make note grid MIDI effects adjusted in microtonic. Devish has a video, I think, on how to do microtonal stuff in Bitwig, so I would check that out. It's definitely doable. I like the uncanny valleys. I mean, I do too for sure. I might have also I probably just haven't heard enough stuff in like 31 that I think sounds good, because like it's very easy to assume that a tuning sounds bad just because I only heard bad songs in it, when like think about how many bad 12-tone songs there are. Imagine hearing a bad 12-tone song and be like, well, 12 Edo must fucking suck then. It's just very stupid and presumptuous to think that. But I still think it all the time. I also will stupidly think that certain Edos are bad because the vibe of the number is bad. Like 19, just the vibe of that number, I just don't like it. There's no real explanation other than like the number feels like not good to me, and that will bias me, which is weird. 22, that number sounds sick, and also the tuning is cool as well. 23, now 19, I've like, you know, you got to work past that. It's just stupid, but I do notice that for whatever reason. But one way I like to think about these tunings is don't think of it as 19 in the like decimal system or 23, but think about it as what number of prime is it? Like 23 is the 9th prime, right? Like 19 is I guess the 8th, probably. Yeah. It's like the 8th prime number. So like everything is just like either a prime number or a composite of like prime numbers. And that makes it a lot more interesting to like conceptualize and break out of like decimal thinking. But maybe that's just a thing that's just unique to me. But I don't know, I get number vibes for sure. Yeah, 19, Edo, and 31 are pretty intuitive for sure, but also open up a lot of options. I think it's also friendly for already established musicians who know like a lot of normal theory, because a lot of it transfers over. Like I guess you just have to learn some like ups and downs and stuff like that, and then you can immediately start tapping into, you know, like tuning your hitting like harmonic sevenths and stuff. But its fifths are pretty flat, which I feel like also adds to that like weird uncanny valley thing. Because I guess it's like, I mean, 31's kind of like a compromise or a trade in terms of like 12 is great at fifths but bad at thirds, and or I guess it's bad at thirds and bad at like a harmonic seventh, right? And then 31 does the opposite, so like that's where some of that like uncanny thing kind of comes from. Zaya has great 31 Edo showcase that really go into the Zen properties of the tuning and not just typical mean tone stuff. Yeah, like the Mothra 6 video. I like 26 a lot. 26 you can consider kind of a more exaggerated 31 in that it's even more flat. It leans even harder into the flat fifth and even harder into the more accurate harmonic seventh. Like it's, I think, like the most accurate harmonic seventh in like the first 100 or so Edos or something crazy. And I do have a video actually, this one, the Bleak track breakdown. This guy here, I talk about how I made the song in 26, and at some point I play like a little thing in Mothra, which is a 5 large 1 small scale, which is built on using that harmonic seventh as a generator. And there's just like really cool, interesting sounds in it. Like I feel like 31's in kind of like a weird, I don't know. It's in kind of a weird spot. I'm just biased, I think, because everyone talks about it. It's like the most popular Edo. And I think that just like biases me because I'm a contrarian. But also, again, I'm more interested in weird fucking sounds. Like I like the anti-diatonic scales where your fifth is so flat that all your chord qualities invert. That stuff fascinates me and it sounds super, super weird. Speaking of, I'm going to show this again. I already showed this to Lucas, but who's pretty sure that's last adult gugum. But like the Bumblebee Mavilla, this shit is so good. But this is like probably like my favorite type of like scale construction, where you take the familiar, the diatonic, and then you warp it to the point where it starts having completely different properties, but it still has that familiarity thing. I find that super interesting, as well as like, I guess, trying to discover new scales. But I guess the problem with entirely new scales that like haven't been done before is like the listener has always the context of the diatonic scale in mind, because, you know, the music is not just the sounds and the chords you put in there, but also the cultural expectation that the listener has. So everything's always inherently going to be framed relative to what the diatonic scale has, right? So like I have songs that are like playing with like scales that are built on stacked major thirds, and that sounds inherently alien and very weird, I think, to like your average listener, because they like lose that context. Anyways, here's Flight of the Bumblebee in the anti-diatonic scale. So basically, what it used to be minor, now it's major, but in a very weird way. We basically push the fifth so flat that all the chord qualities invert, and it's great. I'm gonna get water real quick. I'll be right back. Yes. Yeah. So there's like kind of a sweet spot in anti-diatonic scales where basically between like 670, like around 660 to 680 cents, the fifth still sounds like something that's trying to be a fifth. It still sounds like trying to approximate 3/2. And so it still has that like diatonic-like quality, but all the chord qualities invert. If you go flatter than that, it starts to be really fucking weird, because essentially you're just getting tritones and augmented tritones, and it gets very strange. But most scales get really weird when the step ratio is really, really high, right? Like if the like 32 Ito or 27 Ito, the step ratio of large to small is super, super high, that it starts to sound more like a pentatonic with augmentations of small steps. Which is also really, I haven't explored that too much, but like there's certain extremes of the spectrum that start to get kind of weird. There's actually a really cool graphic that was posted in the Zen Discord recently. Let me see if I can find it. Where could it be? Here we go. This thing here. So okay, it's backwards, which is stupid in that this is flat and this is sharp. It should be the other way around. But if you think about it, so this is 700 cents. This is where 12 notes per octave is, right? If you go flatter, you get 19. You also think about it, every time you add 7 to a number, it's going to start approaching 7. It's going to get closer. You're averaging it between 7, right? 12 and 7, average them together, you get 19. Average 19 and 7, you get 26. Average 26 and 7, you get 33. So you can see how it approaches but never exactly reaches 7. Yeah, no, this is great. And then 12, every time you add 5, it starts to approach 5 Ito. So right now we're in 20, right? Which is basically a multiple of 5. So the way I conceptualize it is basically these are all flat, like flat Itos. I suppose, yeah, this is the territory that I'm not like super fond of that we were just describing, because it sounds a little bit too much like 12, but I don't know, like there's an uncanny valley territory. Again, I haven't experimented too much with 31, but this is just like my understanding of it, or how I have subjectively come to perceive it. But and then this over here I find a lot more interesting, because you get that like exact just pure harmonic seventh, and then you can start, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I haven't explored any of these, frankly, only 26, but 26 is cool. And then yeah, if you keep going flatter, you get 7 Ito in multiples of 7, right? So your diatonic scale is, everything is just equalized. Your small steps equal your large steps, and then you keep going flatter, and then your large steps and your small steps invert, and you end up getting 5 small steps and 2 large steps. And then when you do this, all your chord qualities invert. So your 1 chord in your major scale is now a minor chord, and your 7 chord in your major scale, instead of being diminished, is now augmented. Everything gets all fucked with. And 23 Ito, 16, where's 18? 18 should be, they're missing 18. 18 is also really cool, but 23 and 18 are really neat. What's also really cool is 23. Yeah, 23 has 2 fifths. It has a very flat fifth and it has a very sharp fifth. So this is the flat fifth, and then the very sharp fifth is noted over here, right? So it's 23B, B meaning this is the second best fifth, I suppose. And so now you have 2 options of approximations of 3/2, which have like crazy different other harmonic potentials, and you can create really cool scales by alternating, stacking sharp and flat fifths. And the theory with double fifth scales is crazy, like in terms of structure. Like, yes, they're not accurately approximating any prime ratios, but structurally they're fascinating and they sound really cool. 23 is the best. I'm standing by it. 23 is the best Ito, without a doubt. Anyways, I do like sharp fifths Itos a lot. So 17 is really cool and 22 is really cool. I did make one song in 29, and that one's also pretty cool. Though this one is so it's not that far. It's pretty close to 12. It's not as far as you think. And then yeah, 18. There should be, yeah. This graphic isn't perfect. I would swap the sides such that flat is over here and sharp is over here, and then I would make sure the flat 18 is also over here because that's missing. But yeah, this is pretty cool how to understand the spectrum basically. Yeah, I just noticed that for the first time when I saw this over here. The wart is a terrible name. Goddamn terminology, man. But yeah, this is basically how I conceptualize everything. So I just group everything. There's like, okay, there's 12, right? Because just 12 is just our understanding of all basic normal music theory. There's flat tunings, which is all of this stuff. 26 is cool. I'm not really a fan of the other ones. You go super flat, it gets equalized, becomes 7 Ito, which is the equalized diatonic scale. If you keep going sharper, it approaches 5 Ito, which is the diatonic scale. When your small step gets so small, it vanishes into nothing. So as you keep increasing, like we keep adding 5, right? We add 5. Our large step is a 3-to-1 ratio, then it's a 4-to-1, then it's a 5-to-1, then it's a 6-to-1. So like this would be like a 7-to-1 ratio of large to small. That means your small step is 1/7 of the size. So it keeps getting smaller and smaller and smaller until, you know, to infinity, and then it collapses into 5 Ito. Yeah, 13 I haven't tried 13 enough. I've given it like one shot. 13 is interesting because it's also like a dual fifth anti-diatonic scale, sort of, but it's like extreme and it sucks. And I like scales that suck. Yeah, Zen terminology in a nutshell. It's really rough. It's rough. Converting people can be difficult when you're like, yeah, dude, warts, vowels, monzos. Though most of that shit you don't need to know at all. I would say the only important thing, really, is understanding MOS scale construction, basic understanding of just intonation, and then understanding how this map works to plot out different things. And all this, remind you, is just a map of how the 3/2 is approximated. You can kind of define most temperaments or most Itos in terms of how is its 3/2 approximated. 19 and 26 work very similarly to each other. A lot of stuff, it sounds very similar. 22 and 17 sound pretty similar. 22 and 27 sound pretty similar, right? So this is how you like look at everything in terms of where the fifth is approximated. They're just like a couple cents off, because then if you make a scale built on stacking a fifth, then the whole scale sounds similar in a lot of ways. Yeah. Oh, comma names, you don't have to learn anything about commas. Commas are useless, unless, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Cam Taylor, he's like a Lumitone player. He does have a video in playing in 53 notes per octave. And he does use and talk about commas in a really interesting way. But other than that, I've never seen anyone talk about commas in any way that's constructive whatsoever. It's mostly like people trying to find numbers to name as if they're naming stars or something. They just want to like slap their name on something. It's weird. Anyways, that's my spiel. I don't know what this started with, but microtonal theory is cool. I like it. Trying to figure out more stuff. Oh yeah, I guess while we're here, I'll just talk about what I still do want to explore. So I'm very familiar with working with dual fifth tuning. So 23, how it has a fifth here and a fifth here. I've explored this a bunch. There's still so much more to explore, but that's where like this past year I've been focusing on the most. I have a decent amount of experience working in this stuff. I was very little working with flat stuff, as I've been talking about, like 26 Ito. And I have like no experience working with any multiple of 5 and very, very little working with multiples of 7. So multiples of 7 and 5, as well as flat stuff, is basically where I think I'm lacking right now in my understanding. It does sound like Rick and Morty. Like a Grundle or a Plumbus. I have no idea. I don't know. chart was made with intention. There's like a type of notation that people use to notate playing music and microtone and different tunings and temperaments. And so I think a lot of this relates to that. Oh, the CD equals 1, CD equals 2 mean? There's a CD equals DE equals F. Wow, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know what any of that means. But, yeah, it says don't use B or F with 23B or gold 5M Edos. This means for any multiple of 5, don't use the letters B or F when you're notating, because, as I said, the small step when you compress your diatonic scale vanishes into nothing, and that small step represents B and E. So your numbers, the steps, the notes E and F become the same thing, and the notes C and B become the same thing. So technically you would notate, if you wanted to transcribe a 7 Edo or a 12 Edo, a diatonic scaled song into a multiple of 5 Edo, different notes would map to the same note, basically. Yeah, exactly. So shit like that. I don't know what this CD... Well, I mean, it sounds like... I have no idea. I mean, it sounds like it's referring to, in some sense, how many notes there are. I don't know. I just figured, you know, just like bigger number go down more, right? So like if this was to be accurate, this 19 should be a little bit down further than 17. But I don't fucking know. But yeah, I mean, this is another thing with microtonal theory. There's so much information on here, and most of it you never ever need to know. And one of the most important things to learn in order to understand microtonal theory is to learn what to ignore and what not to ignore, right? Like I see all these CD equal whatever, I don't care about that, and I probably won't need to. All these weird number things, this is a part of some notation system I don't know and don't plan on learning. Maybe I will at some point, so I can just ignore that, right? What I do care about is simply where are these located in relation to the sharpness or flatness of its fifth, and then how do they relate to each other in the spectrum, and then you can tune everything else out, right? You look at, if you go on the Zen wiki, right, you can just go to, I don't know, we'll go to 23 Edo. There's a big giant number box of a bunch of different stuff. This one actually isn't that bad. I don't know. Well, we can click on we'll click on the ratio, right? 5/3, which is your major sixth, right? It's like a just major sixth. So you can see, okay, size and sense is 884.3. Monzo, if you don't know what Monzo is, you don't need to know. It doesn't matter. This is temperament theory stuff. If you're trying to like crunch numbers and you like to do math, it has nothing to do with making music. Factorization, this is just, I mean, it's 5/3, but it really doesn't matter much, right? Size and sense kind of matters, right? You want to know where is it, and the, you know, and the tuning spectrum. Color name, Y6 Yo6, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't need to know it. FJS name, who knows, who cares? Special properties reduced, I have no idea. You hover over it, octave reduction. So I suppose this means because it's something divided by another thing, right? Like 2/1 or 3/1 probably isn't reduced. I don't know why that's notated there. Tenny norm, who the fuck cares? While norm. I mean, I do know what these mean because I spent a lot of time studying it because I just like math. None of this is relevant. None of it's relevant. It's fun. It's really fun to explore. And maybe if you do a ton of math and go really, really deep, you can end up discovering new structures that you can end up playing with. And this is like, it's like a hobby in of itself and something really fun to explore. But if you just want to make music that sounds microtonal and cool, all you need to know is the very basics of like approximating intervals. What is just intonation in terms of, you know, like we want to approximate these exact intervals, and how are scales made, right? You don't even need to know anything else. You just need to know the scales. You just have to know what formula can I follow to make cool scales, and then just make cool scales and then try them out. And then if they sound cool, they sound cool, right? Yeah. That's the biggest thing. You learn pretty quickly. Like a lot of it sounds like, what's the word when they're talking in Star Trek about shit that doesn't make any sense? That's basically what's going on, and you don't need to learn any of it. And you'll feel like you need to because all these smart people are talking about stuff, but you have to realize that most of the people that are talking about that stuff don't even make music. So it varies. Anyways. I don't really like this sound here. I mean, it's like kind of interesting. This part here, I think we got to get rid of the rising thing. Or maybe we take this. This section I start getting kind of tired of. What can we do? We just like, I just need to make a variation just for this very last section. Let's pitch shift it down an octave. Yeah, that's what we're doing. don't know about that. We need a riser there. And then we'll get, I didn't mean to hit that sidechain input, whatever that is. And then alien riser 3, the best. You got great synth tones on everything, so bad as sound design, never want to do it, just want to write something piano and play it and be done. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I produced music for like 7 or 8 years before I knew any music theory whatsoever, literally just learning how to make funny sounds. So it's definitely like my specialty, for sure. I gotta slow it down or speed it up. That's why it lends very well also to, like, I can't articulate myself. I can't English right now. Yeah, microtonality I think in particular suits this genre and this style of music really well, which is why it's extremely frustrating that so many like extremely talented producers that I know that just make the most insane psychedelic drippy alien music don't want to explore psychedelic drippy and alien fucking tunings. But that's also kind of like a good motivation for me to try to make all this and put it out there, because I want more people to do it, right? Like I was saying earlier, we just need more people to prove to the world that this shit is good, right? That's all it takes, and then more people will do it. So, yeah. is a tiny slice of sound designs and crazy timbres. Yeah, yeah. And I mean, so the genre that I make is very sound design heavy, and everyone's obsessed with sound design. Like that's why I have like this is a sound design YouTube channel, and then eventually now it's like half. I don't know. I'm focusing more on microtones at least when I'm like streaming and stuff. Nah, it's just a tiny. It's just a tiny slice of it. But sound design, like there's so many producers that are trying to explore novel and interesting sound design techniques and figure out entirely new and novel sounds to make songs with them, because like I said, entirely novel sounds are inherently like psychedelic, right? Chords are a sound, intervals are a sound. So like I feel like it's just so obvious that the next step is to explore microtonality. I think they just like, many people don't know that it can sound good. I think they just don't know that, or they're afraid of alienating audiences or not having people want to listen to it because it is kind of a niche and it takes kind of a developed ear to be able to appreciate it, or at least it takes a developed ear to be able to appreciate a lot of it, not all of it. Some of it I think is just so good that anyone would agree that it's fire, like hands down, but that's, you know, difficult to do. It's also, I mean, it is difficult to write in. It absolutely is more difficult to write in microtonal tunings than in like 12 tone, but I find it more inspiring than it is difficult, so it ends up being easier to write in, you know? Like I'm called to write in it because it's so inspiring and interesting, and I have to explore it, that the frustrations of making bad music with it is far outweighed, right? We got the reverb thing that also has to be sent out. Bad music is music doesn't inspire. Yes, like definitionally. I 100% agree with that. I've always been harping on the premise of like the difference between objectively good or objectively bad music, and the difference is just something that like innovates in some way. It doesn't have to be crazy. It could just be a vibe. It could just be lyrics. Just maybe the lyrics say something interesting, or maybe it's just the combined everything, the chord progression and the drums just makes you feel a color that no other song makes you feel. That's all it requires to make. You just have to do something new. It's like a thesis. You have to posit to the world, here's this new thing to explore, and I'm showing it to you. That's what good music is. It can sound bad. Like, you could dislike it. It can make you feel uncomfortable. But like, you can recognize this does something interesting, right? There's plenty of bad music I like listening to, and there's plenty of good music I don't like listening to. Have I ever done any work on video gaming OSTs or anything? I feel like this would be a great gateway to microtonal music and stuff like this. Feels like it could suit some games really well. I have not done any video game music. I would love to. I've made music for my brother's Dungeons and Dragons campaign, which is effectively like video game music, and I've done that a few times, and it's always been really, really fun. I'm super inspired by video game music in general. I mean, I haven't really tried, I'll admit, to like get into the video game music industry at all, but my understanding is it's like not nepotistic is the word, but you need connections. You need to like actually know people. No one's gonna come to me and just be like, "Hey, you want to work on my game?" Probably. So I probably have to like try on that. But like I've looked into it. It's like it's pretty saturated, and but I don't know. I would definitely love that. 100%. Though the game would have to have like I don't know weird alien squid mushroom dudes in it because that's all the sounds I'm gonna make. They got no choice about that. So. Like, oh, how am I going to do this? The shifter, the high feedback shifter ends up making the left ear sound way too mid-heavy right there. Right, so maybe we just like hit him with one of these. That was, oh, it's the right ear, not the left ear. I don't know left from right. God damn it. We're gonna do the same thing. Like that. It's kind of decent. Then you're just gonna be on the way there. Okay, I don't know. That's a good progress, I think. Electronic music production is wild to me because of how much manipulation of different parameters has to be done. What proportion of this would you say you manipulate live with the controller versus this is all in the box. All of this 100% in the box. I do everything in the box. You have the most control doing everything in the box. I don't know, it's just suited my style. It's cheap, low entry, you don't really need anything besides like a DAW and maybe some plugins, but like you can pirate everything if you're broke, right? Like it's fully accessible. You have the most amount of control. You can tune everything. And you just build habits and like shortcuts and workflow technique and stuff like that and build muscle memory, and then you can go pretty fast. I would say, what, I worked on this, yeah, I worked on this for 2 hours today, though honestly, this was, what did I even do? What did I even change? I didn't really, I kind of flailed around for a while here and improved this section marginally, and just like mixed down and improved this section a little bit, but I really didn't do that much these past 2 hours. I would say I worked on this song for probably, before this live stream, like 3 hours, 3.5 hours. Yeah, no, you just get good at it. It's really not bad. I'm very fast with just, you know, a mouse and whatnot. Like, I mean, you still got to place drums and whatnot, you know. Yeah, but in the box is the way, for sure. And it's all about just like finding techniques that spit out sounds really quickly that are reliably good for the most part. So like, I don't know if you've watched any of my like sound design videos, but like I really emphasize like building audio effect racks that do sound design for you, and generative stuff using like random like LFOs and whatnot, so that like you have filters moving around pseudo randomly to like warp and mangle sounds. So like essentially all like for the most part, all I did, I think, like harmonically, in terms of the 99% of all the microtonality, is I drew these chords in, probably by ear, I don't remember. Right, it's just that. And whatever this is. And then everything else is made out of arpeggiating and throwing these same chords into sound design generators where they mangle it and spit out a bajillion other sounds. All of the crazy arps and stuff, like I just chucked these chords here, transposed it up and down a bajillion times, and threw an arpeggiator on it. And then I just have the arpeggiator just go switching between stuff. So right now it's on like 30-second notes, right? And then there's like audio effects and stuff turning on and off, have like frequency shifters and whatnot. But it's just like about workflow. I would like never put these notes in manually by hand, not in a million years, stuff like that. And that kind of approach can be applied to a million things. Now there is a shit ton of like tracks and stuff, and I didn't organize this project frankly at all, but a lot of these tracks are just like tried and failed ideas or stuff that I use to make sounds. So a lot of these are just like ideas. This is like I spat out ideas by like mangling a sound, throwing it in a sampler, and then I'm cutting up and playing different parts of that sample. And it ended up not sounding good at all. Here's like other resampled stuff. Anyways, yeah, this is where we're getting places. It sounds good. I think I'm done streaming. I've been going for like 2 hours. I want to eat food, and I don't know, I want to stop. I have a headache, etc., etc. What was me complaining on and on. Tomorrow's Friday. I'll try to stream again tomorrow. Maybe my microphone will come then, and I'll have a better fucking microphone, and I'll be a super professional, good streamer. Oh, I just realized my mini meters was covering up some stuff. How much was it covering up? Ooh. Oh god, that happened the entire fucking stream. That's just disgusting. I mean, you didn't really miss anything. It was just like that, but it looks ugly. Ugh. All right, well, we're learning. We're always learning. Try a Red Bull. For the headache? That'll do it, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm heading out. Thanks for hanging out, everyone. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time. Yeah, later.